Yo, what's up? Hey everyone, it's Angrego here, back with another album review for you all. Today we're going to be looking at an album that was released this year, but was released, before the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, I know. Good times, eh? But the album that we're going to look at today is Green Day's 13th studio album, Father of All. But yeah, Green Day were one of the earliest bands that I got into. I first started listening to them through like the kind of rock operas such as American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown, and through them I got into the earlier material as well, such as Kerplunk, Dookie, Insomniac. But one thing that stopped me from becoming like a Green Day super fan was the fact that they're just, a lot of their music for me sounded pretty samey. Until now. So, like what we did last week with Joji's album, what I'm going to do again is go track by track and review each one individually and give my thoughts, summarise it at the end. So, we start off with the title track, and it starts on a very positive note. We do get a different feel to Green Day, but, in a good way. Billie Joe Armstrong's vocals, take a more falsetto range, but I ain't complaining, it still sounds really good. The chorus is very catchy, the heavy guitars are still there, and, Trey Cool's drumming is still in top form. I kind of get a Queens of the Stone Age vibe with this track a wee bit, because I like the production and the vocal delivery, and even the guitars remind me of the way like Josh Homme would play a song. But yeah, really good positive start to the album with Father of All. Then track 2, Fire Ready Aim, probably my favourite track on the album. Opening two tracks have both hit, bullseyes, more or less. The guitars, bass and drums still have the Green Day sound. The vocal delivery from Armstrong, yeah, it's a lot poppier, but definitely works here. The vocals, chorus, riffs, all sound excellent. My only real jibe at this track is that it's not even 2 minutes long. You would kind of want, at least another minute out of it, but, I'll still listen to it, on a day-to-day basis. And then we get to Oh Yeah, which is track 3. We do hit a little bit of a slump here though. This one is different, of course, and the bits of it that I enjoy, and I appreciate Billy, Mike, and Trey trying new things. I just think this song just sounds like a generic 2010s indie pop track, particularly with the yeah, oh yeah hook. We don't hear as many guitars, and the drums sound a lot more electronic here. But, Billie Joe's vocals are still really good. I just think the song itself, this one, is a bit overproduced. Now we have Meet You on the Roof. Yeah, this is the tamest Green Day song I've heard. Even tamer than a song like Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. The twinkly piano in the background, I don't want to say it, but it gives off like a kind of a bubblegum vibe. And I hate myself for saying that, but like I appreciate them wanting to try new things, but compared to like the first two tracks, this one doesn't really work in my opinion. Sorry. The next track on the album, which is I Was a Teenager. Yeah, this one as well. This is the longest track on the album, believe it or not, at 3 minutes and 45 seconds, so yeah, it's a pretty short album. This one starts off with Billie Joe singing with only the bass in the first verse. One of the few times we hear it on its own, which is a bonus, I guess. But again, like the last track, it's a lot tamer, it's a lot less angry and aggressive. It's completely different. Lyrics give the impression of like kind of childhood nostalgia in a way. So they're doing a Nickelback. I almost got a Killers vibe with this one, but again, I just find this one to be extremely bland, and the lyrics are just pretty weak in my opinion. Track 6, Stab You in the Heart, it's a lot better though. As you can tell by the title, it's a lot more aggressive. Armstrong puts more effort into his vocals here, and this is Green Day being more diverse done right, in my opinion. The use of the 12-bar blues and the guitar and bass are pretty cool to hear, almost like a homage to Rock and Roll Girlfriend, even though Trey isn't singing. Almost get an early Beatles vibe with it. Just a bit heavier, but yeah, a bit better this one compared to the other two that I talked about there. But again, just a bit short, like Fire at Aim. The next track we have is Sugar Youth. Now, if you're a fan of older Green Day, then this track's for you. Heavy guitars and drums, reminiscent of kind of like the rock opera Green Day. This is kind of similar to Fire Ready Aim, as both have catchy choruses. I like the hook, I don't wanna be a Romeo, but also like Fire Ready Aim, it's a bit short, it's not even 2 minutes long, so again, maybe another minute and it would probably be one of the best on the album, but yeah. Junkies on a High is the next track. It's again something a little different, slow paced beat, a little lazy in some places. Guitars, bass, drums don't really make much of an appearance here. A little better than Meet You on the Roof, as it still keeps up the heavy vibes, I guess, but I think in a lot of places it's just extremely lazy. I think Green Day kind of do an extraordinary goal with this track, is like they have like a kind of a random style of music for the opening, and then it goes into heavy guitars and drums. It's kind of like has a western vibe, but then it just goes into like the kind of signature style almost. I really enjoyed this song, better than the last one. The guitars make more of an appearance here and support the vocals a lot more. A bit more aggressive and edgy in the vocals as well. And we hear something that we don't really hear on the album, and that is a sort of a solo. But this track's definitely better. So now we have the final track, Graffitia. We start off with bass and drums. Mike Dirnt gets his bit in the limelight. We barely hear him in the album, because there's not a song like Longview or Warning on it. But hey-ho, we'll take it. This song in general is okay, if a bit generic. The chorus is okay, getting some kind of American Idiot vibes. But again, it's just bland. Like, I don't blame Green Day for trying new things. If anything, I want to hear, more diverse stuff from them. But I think sometimes it's just not executed in the best way, if you get me. Anyway, what do I think of this album as a whole? It's very short. Not even half an hour long. In fact, if you played Jesus of Suburbia 3 times, it would still be longer than this album. But going back to the point I made in the final track, I praise Green Day for changing their style a little bit for the album, as we don't really hear the same type of stuff. It can kind of get boring after a while. But I just think it's a little bit lazy on some tracks. Like, some just sound like very generic pop rock. Lyrically, it's also a bit of a downgrade as well, as you'd still want, some of the Green Day aggression in their music. But, again, I'd understand if they want to take a break from it, because maybe they just, they run out of things to get angry about, I guess. But obviously, gone are the days of Dookie and Insomniac, and while I like the opening 2 tracks, plus tracks 6, 7 and 9, the rest of the album, in my opinion, is pretty meh. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to give it a 5. So that is it, everyone. If you've enjoyed the vid, please leave a like, give it a share and subscribe if you're new. And if you've disagreed with any of the points in my album review, then feel free to, let me know in the comments. And yeah, just stay safe and peace.